Clean bulking versus dirty bulking. Which one is better? If you're somewhat familiar with bulking, you've probably heard of these two methods. Personally, I've tried both approaches, and in this video, I'm going to tell you which one worked best for me. My goal is by the end of this video, you'll be able to choose which one is best for you and avoid all the mistakes that I've made on my journey bulking. And we classify the process of building muscle and intentionally gaining weight as bulking. On one side is clean bulking, where you have a moderate calorie surplus and you're eating relatively healthy foods. On the other side is dirty bulking, where this all goes out the window. You have a large calorie surplus and you're gaining a lot of weight week to week. You're also eating junk food and pretty much anything that's in front of you. Between the two, you'll find proponents for both methods. And you'll notice that some of the best bodybuilders in the world have followed both. In this video, I'm going to break down both methods and tell you the pros and cons, and tell you exactly how to implement which one is best for you. So what exactly is clean bulking? My definition is a controlled calorie surplus to build muscle, eating mostly healthy foods that are unprocessed. The foods you choose from on a clean bulk are things like lean meats, grains, vegetables, fruits, and healthy fats. And typically, you minimize the amount of junk food and processed food that you consume. You'll commonly see this method utilized by competitive bodybuilders, where their job is to be as big and lean on stage as possible. This means in their off season, while they're trying to gain muscle, they don't want to gain too much fat. So what are some of the benefits of clean bulking? The first is that you'll have way better appetite control and satiety. This means that clean foods are generally more filling, including higher water, fiber, and volume. For example, 500 calories of rice and chicken is a lot more food than 500 calories of ice cream. And because your meals are so filling, it's a lot easier to avoid excess fat gain. Another hugely underrated benefit of clean bulking is improved sleep. Diets that are high in saturated fats and sugars, like you would find on a dirty bulk, are linked to reduced sleep quality. And it's important to know that better sleep does equal better muscle gain, because the more your body is able to recover, the more it's able to build muscle. And sleep is one of the most underrated anabolic factors that people consider. My third benefit is that clean foods often provide more stable energy for workouts. A lot of the foods that you'll find on a clean bulk, such as whole grains, are slow digesting carbs, meaning you'll have way more sustained energy. And since we're avoiding processed foods, you'll avoid the risk of your blood sugar crashing. My fourth benefit of clean bulking is its hormone optimization. Diets that are high in healthy fats, like you would find in salmon and olive oil, are proven to improve hormone production, such as that with testosterone. Not to mention that the trans fats and saturated fats that you find on a dirty bulk are often shown to reduce testosterone. Another benefit of clean bulking is transitioning back into a cut after your bulk is over. Almost always, you'll be eating relatively clean during your cut. So, if you're already eating clean on your bulk, it's a lot easier to just reduce portion sizes. Dirty bulkers often struggle, on the other hand, because if you're constantly eating highly palatable foods, it's a lot harder to transition to clean foods for your cut. And my last benefit of clean bulking is better digestion and less bloating. Simply, less greasy processed foods equals fewer gut issues. So, if there's already so many great benefits of clean bulking, what are the downsides? For one, especially for me with a high appetite, it's harder to hit your daily calories. Like I mentioned before, clean foods are generally more volume, which means you have to eat more to get the same amount of calories. And once your calorie surplus is reaching its peak, it can be almost impossible to hit your daily calories. And another downside is that eating clean all the time can be mentally fatiguing and get tired really quickly. This can lead to a lack of motivation and consistency. And my last downside of clean bulking is the time it takes. From going out to the grocery store, cooking, prepping, and tracking all your meals, it can add hours into your day. So now that we understand exactly what a clean bulk is, what is a dirty bulk? My definition is eating in a higher calorie surplus, eating almost any food you like. And typically, this is going to consist of a lot of highly processed junk food. Dirty bulkers have a motto: calories in, calories out. And following this, the only things they really care about are calories and protein, with next to no concern for food quality. And you'll commonly see this method followed by people who consider themselves to be hard gainers, like I thought I was when I started. So are there any benefits to a dirty bulk? Well, I have a couple. It is way easier to hit your daily calorie goal. Since processed foods are calorie dense and highly palatable, it's a lot easier to hit your goal. So for someone like me who struggles with a reduced appetite, it can be extremely beneficial. It can also be really great for people who have high energy needs, like athletes. My second benefit is that dirty bulking is a lot more fun and less restrictive. Eating your favorite foods all the time can make it a lot more mentally sustainable. This leads to a reduced chance of burnout and less obsession with food prep. Another potential benefit of a dirty bulk is that it's almost guaranteed calorie surplus. Even if you don't track everything you eat all the time, you'll almost surely be in a surplus. Since your average meal will be more calorie dense, it'll be a lot easier to hit those calorie goals. And my last benefit of dirty bulking is that it can sometimes lead to having greater pumps. The higher salt and sugar in your food can lead to better pumps when you're in the gym. But this is temporary and does not necessarily reflect better long-term progress. So, what are the risks and downsides of dirty bulking? First is that you have a way higher chance of excess fat gain. You can easily overshoot your intended calorie surplus, and doing this will lead to excessive body fat. And while clean foods are very good at regulating hunger, dirty bulkers can easily eat almost 4,000 calories and not even notice it. The second downside is worsened sleep, mood, and focus. Higher processed sugar and fat in your meals can often lead to reduced sleep quality, irritability, and energy crashes. Another downside of dirty bulking is the hormonal health risks. Diets that are high in trans fats, added sugars, and almost no macronutrient content can reduce testosterone. In long term, poor food choices can lead to a worsened hormonal profile. Another huge downside is the digestive issues. I'm sure you've experienced this before, where eating greasy, processed food can lead to bloating and discomfort. And the last major downside of dirty bulking is the health concerns. Long term, you might increase the risk of insulin resistance. So, now that you know everything about both methods of bulking, which one should you choose, and how do you implement it? Well, if you compare the two, short term, gains will look almost identical with a similar calorie surplus. But long term, including clean foods in your diet will improve sleep quality, training quality, and overall health. So now, I want you to have a mindset shift. Instead of seeing it as clean versus dirty bulking, I want you to see it as a spectrum. As we discussed, both methods have their downsides. So in order to get the best of both, find what works for you. This might look like having a clean meal of chicken and rice and having a cookie for dessert. So how do we implement this starting today? First, you need to know exactly what calories you need to eat. And if you want customized calories and macros, hit the top link in the description. Second, once you know that, add in a surplus of 250 to 500 calories. Then, plan out every meal that you're going to eat through the day. And don't be shy to add in a little bit of junk food. I recommend between 3 and 5 meals daily. An exception is if you're really skinny and you struggle to hit your calorie goals. Then, you might want to consider more percentage being allocated towards junk food. So out of all of this, what's the most important thing to remember? First is understanding that a clean bulk is mostly whole foods and a surplus of 250 to 500 calories. Second is that a dirty bulk is almost anything goes, having a much higher rate of weight gain per week. I want you to remember that clean bulking and including foods that are high in micronutrients will improve your sleep, energy, and training performance. And my final advice is to find a balance that works best for you. Because the most important thing is consistency and making sure that you hit your goal every single day.